Welcome back, everybody, to Volcors Exposed. With me, I have Joseph. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded another episode, but uploading consistently, I really have to get into a schedule and a really good set schedule. And well, it's because I want it to be every weekend that I at least upload something, whether it's audio or video version, but I don't know. I don't want to go back to talking alone. I started this podcast with talking by myself, and it's the worst. So I do the audio version by myself, and then I would sit there and edit the entire podcast listening to myself only.
When was your last upload?
Probably a month ago, a little over a month ago.
That's not so bad.
Yeah, it's not dramatic, but with everyone else, heck, there's even some people releasing like twice a week, maybe 3 times a week. That's a bit intense for me, but I at least only want maybe something once a week. So I don't know. Yeah. So basically, lately, things have been okay, I guess. Especially with work, I'm finally at a place where things are getting back on track. I'm trying to get my passport set up, a whole bunch of documents, and obviously I have to do my taxes, but that's going to be a pain in the ass considering I had to do my taxes in the last 3 years. Yeah. Turns out you can go 10 years without doing your taxes in Canada.
Yep.
Or maybe it's Ontario, but I think it's just Canada in general. I think in the States it's 7 years or something. But, yeah. COVID was a thing, so that's why I didn't do my taxes. But I feel like the second year I could have done my taxes, but I just didn't. So, yeah. I probably owe the government quite a bit of money for my last job that I had. So, yeah. So, what's going on with you, Joseph?
Don't ask me that question. You know the answer.
I figured I would ask anyway.
Don't you dare.
Yeah. But, no, I would say things are going pretty good. I really want to do a lot more traveling. And I wouldn't say this year, but for next year. I know my brother and I are using this year as kind of like a recovery year, a financial recovery year, and just overall just getting crap over and done with that we've been procrastinating a lot in the last 2 or 3 years. So next year we want to do a lot more traveling, and it doesn't have to be extreme traveling. It could be, just going on road trips down the States and stuff like that. I think that'd be pretty fun. Would you be down to go on a little tour, a little road trip?
Yes.
That took so much thought.
When?
Oh, next year,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Just, yes. Yeah, and I think, I guess you should probably get your passport. It only costs $7 to get a passport photo done. You can get one done at Shoppers.
Yeah. I'd rather just do it myself if they would let me.
I thought about that, but it's just the level of stress of taking the photo and then shipping it out for 3 months to come back to say, oh, your photo is not eligible or whatever.
I could go to insert old place of work here and do it myself there.
Oh.
As long as insert old manager here isn't there. You can just add
That was a very inside joke. Very inside.
You can just add random names in post. Just be like Steven. Paperclip.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh gosh, that was funny. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I could probably drive across Canada, easily, but
Okay, there.
like, okay, for me specifically, like, okay, I own a 2021 Mazda 3. There's 173,000 kilometers on it already. Like, um, I think the only few places I would want to go to in Canada, maybe drive to, is like maybe like Banff or like I already been to Jasper, Alberta. So all the really cool scenic places I've already been. Um, so I just really want to dip down the states and like, you know, kind of go more western, California, Nevada. Would you be down for California?
Eh.
Got that California love going.
I don't care to see much of the States. I don't know.
See all your gamer friends, see how they function in society.
I like my lungs unpunctured by lead. I'm good.
Dude, I've been on the fence about getting my motorcycle license and just touring across country. But it's just like every time, like, you know what? This is gonna happen. I have a set plan. Gonna get my M1, my M2, or whatever it takes to get my license. Save up, get a bike, a decent bike that is, and then I'm gonna just tour. But then every time I think about that, I see some messed up like video on like Instagram or TikTok.
Cops
or
pulling people over, they stay in jail for 3 weeks because they
yeah.
refuse to look at the license or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly.
They don't know their own like driver's license rules, so they fucking
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like it's that, but it's also a lot of motorcycle crashes. But here's the thing: I know I'm not going to be an idiot on a bike, right? Like, I have a kid, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be stupid, and I'm definitely not. If I were to get my full motorcycle license, no 400 series highways, never, not a chance. Because like I see them ripping up and down the highways all the time, and it's like, okay, well, if you're really safe, whatever, you could be the safest motorcycle driver in the world, but like, what if somebody doesn't check their blind spot? That's all it takes. You're dead, like you're done. So, and I guess they're starting to bring back split laning. Like a lot of states are releasing like, oh, it's legal to the split lane.
What the fuck is a split lane?
So like, say you're at like a traffic light. So a motorcycle, they're making it illegal so that they can drive on the line, like between lanes of cars, like between cars. So not at high speeds, only like at a lower speed. And the reason they're doing this, I thought it was dangerous too. I thought it was like that's a bad idea. But the reason they're doing this is so that it minimizes the risk of the motorcycle being squished, like rear-ended, and then squished up against the car in front of them. If someone were not be like paying attention. So at first I'm like, oh, that's a kind of a bad idea, but when I thought about it, I'm like, okay, that's a lot safer in a way.
Gotcha.
Because that would be a pretty nasty death. Yeah, so I don't know.
I think it's an understatement.
Me and my what motorcycle was I looking at? I was looking at it's called an Indian. Is it an Indian Scout? Or is it the Indian Rogue? Maybe it's the Indian Scout Rogue. I could be wrong. But it's it's a nice looking bike. Like it's not a street bike. It's a really nice looking, like Harley-esque looking bike.
I don't.
You're like, I don't give a crap.
I don't care for bikes. I don't know.
Hey man, we'll get you a Mini Cooper and we'll tour that way. I got the idea of I always wondered why people would buy Mini Coopers. Like, is it practical? Like, you know, you like, why would you buy a Mini Cooper? But it's just the outer, like the external size of it, and then you get inside, you're like, damn, this is spacious, for how small it looks, you know. And I feel like you're more in tune to the road when you're driving a Mini Cooper. Yeah, and then I showed you. I mean, this is what, a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years, where I showed you like a Mini Cooper.
Ago. Yeah, it's your fault.
And you went on their like dealership website.
I did the 3D camera thing where you got to move through the car.
Yeah, like a 3D like.
Then we saw the trunk space and we're like, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
Dude, it came up to like $65,000.
I know, right? I was just like, this is cool. This is cool. Add this, add this. What would it be like? And then it's like, yep, I'm buying used.
Yeah. Hey man, start used. I mean, like, even the used ones are nice. I went on Facebook Marketplace when we were talking about it last night, and yeah, I see one like in really good condition, relatively lower mileage. You could pick one up for like anywhere from 4,000 to around $7,000. Obviously, if you get into like the higher trim levels, back then they had a Clubman. They still have a Clubman now, but I don't think they had a Countryman back then. So they had a Clubman. So it had rear seats, but it didn't have the doors, the rear doors. It just had like the one suicide door in the back. So it's still spacious. You haven't heard of a suicide door before? Where it opens this way, like backwards instead of the traditional way a door opens. Yeah. It's not dangerous.
They call it a suicide.
I know, which is kind of ironic. Yeah, but it was very spacious. It's just the vehicle looks a bit longer. That's it. But the overall size of it is relatively the same. And yeah, I sat in one of those once, and it's very spacious. And I think for you, you know, especially because
I drive so much.
Yeah, you drive just so much now. You probably drive like what, like once a week, once every 2 weeks, give or take. Because you drive my car to the farm the odd time if it's there. So, yeah.
It gets driven a little.
My coworker, Kyle, he's getting his license. Well, he has his license. He just has a G1, but he's getting his G2. And he's like, "Oh, I'm doing it in Smith Falls because like everyone's saying it's easy in Smith Falls." I'm like, "It's easy. It's
if
just
you don't get that John dude."
Yeah, the John dude, man. Like, and every time I say John dude, they think I'm being like,
I was talking to Serena,
yeah,
and she mentioned that that's where she got her license done.
right.
And she had some dude who was a total jackass who failed her on a bunch of things. And I'm like, "You got John?" And she's like, "John?" And I'm like, "Yeah, John's known everywhere."
Yeah, yeah.
Like, because you went to Kempville? No,
Yes.
Carlton. Brockville?
So at first I went to Brockville. That's when I did my first G1, the written test, and then I did my G2 there. I got the John guy, and then he failed me for the most stupid reason, man. So I think I told you this before. It was a one-way street. So I was on a regular street, and I was crossing a one-way street, and the one-way street was in the direction heading to my right at the stop sign. So I stopped at the stop sign, did everything right, and there was this cedar hedge to my left that was running parallel with me, leading up to the one-way street. So then I went to creep out, and this car comes flying down the one-way street the wrong way. The one-way street was in the going direction to my left. So I'm at the stop sign, and the one-way street that I'm stopped at is heading in the direction to my left. Okay, so then the cedar hedge is to my left, running parallel with me. I went to creep out to see if there's anything there, and this car comes flying down the one-way street, going right down the one-way street the opposite way. He was going down the wrong way. So then this John guy was like, "Oh, see, that would have been an automatic fail because you cut that guy off." I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, I did
cut him off. It's like, what?
Dude, what do you mean I cut him off? Like this.
What road are you looking at?
Yeah. So then I was like, hey, whatever. Like, I was cheesed. And so then I was like, screw it. So I went to the, was it Kempville or Marrickville? I'm pretty sure, it would have been Kempville. So I went to Kempville.
And he was there.
And he was there, but luckily I got somebody else. I didn't ask for somebody else. Luckily, I just happened to get somebody else. And, like, she made it seem like I wasn't doing a test. She said, "Oh, wait, before we start or whatever, before we start, can you, like, just pull over here or pull out of the parking lot and kind of go this way?" I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure." And yeah, I guess we were just doing the test. And, like, she was just talking about, like, you know, well, what do you, like, are you out of school now? Or, like, what are you doing for school? What's your future plans? Stuff like that.
You know, putting you at ease like any instructor should.
Yeah, exactly. And I got back. She's like, "Well, you passed. You passed with flying colors." I'm like, huh. Well, So I guess the John guy, I mean everybody there,
Yeah, everybody there knew him and that he was a problem.
yeah,
And he's still working there.
still working there.
Because when I went to do,
Yeah.
because he was still there.
Yeah. So they all do Brockville, Merrickville, or Kempville, and Smiths Falls. It's the same kind of.
So the whole circle.
Yeah. So I went to Smiths Falls when I was doing my G test. Sure enough, got the John guy. He failed me, and he gave me crap because I slowed down at the train track to see if to check if
To see if there was a train, especially since you knew that arm wasn't working properly
exactly
not too long ago.
Yeah, and I told him look, this is what I was taught. I got into the habit of looking both ways because of incidents like this. He said, well, who taught you that? Like everyone, my parents, like my teachers, they would mention
They
it.
were not wrong to teach you it.
Yeah, exactly. And so he failed me, and then I put a complaint in, and when I rebooked it, not only so John wasn't there, but I had another driver instructor that was doing it for me again. But then there was another driver instructor in my back seat, so I had two people in the car with me. I was so nervous. It's like sweating bricks. Yeah, so I passed, but it was the worst getting my license. There must be a quota. There's got to be some sort of quota that has to be met for failing people. Because why would they find little random things like that? But then again, there's Brampton, and then they give a toddler their freaking driver's license. So I don't even know what to think anymore. So, yeah. So the John guy failed you on your. Yeah, you got your final G. Oh yeah. Right, because you were gonna book the G2, but they're like, oh well, you might as well just do your G because some weird kind of, I don't know. But
it was out of my hands. Mom's car had issues.
Oh yeah.
That I wasn't.
Yeah, that we.
I wasn't privy of before going there, or
Yeah.
I wouldn't have went there in it.
Yeah. Well, hey, at least you did it in my car, the little bulbous bubble that it is. So many blind spots.
And you're not allowed to use the cameras.
Yeah. Did they ever mention anything about the cameras and stuff, or did they just ignore it?
The second the lady got in, I'm like, hey, if we're doing the parallel parking,
Right.
are the cameras allowed? And she looks around at the blind spots. It's like, unfortunately, no. It was pretty funny.
Oh man! So she picked up on the blind spots.
Yeah, no, they're huge.
Immediately.
They're huge blind spots.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to get the test.
Yeah.
So I can't have that much experience.
Right. Yeah.
Parallel parking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm sure she's seen a lot of people hit curbs.
Yeah. I mean, dude. In just a little time that you were practicing, you got good at it though.
I got all right, yeah.
In my car.
Good enough to pass the damn test.
Yeah. Dude, if you were driving a Mini Cooper, you would be just drifting into that thing.
I don't know, man.
You pull the e-brake, you drift into the parallel parking spot. They're just like, damn. No, but
I feel like that would be me for 2 minutes, and then reality would hit me, and I'd strike a post. I don't know.
you become...
Oh.
Yeah, Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, for 2 minutes.
Just drifting around like Ken Block.
Rest in peace.
Oh my god, dude. Right as I said it, I just remembered that he... Oh,
yeah.
Man. Okay, the beginning of this year started off rough for people. Not me, but everyone just dropping like flies for no reason. Well, there are reasons. But
there are many reasons.
There are many reasons, but it's just the spacing between people is just it's nuts.
Unacceptable. Yeah.
So anyone who doesn't know Ken Block, he's a famous rally racer driver, and he. If you want to go really far back, if anyone loves the brand DC Shoes, he's one of the co-founders of DC Shoes. So, are you just finding this out?
Yeah. It's news to me. That's pretty dope.
It is, dude. Do you remember in high school? I wear DC shoes, but I had that logo like Ken Block on it, and I was obsessed with these shoes. Oh man.
Okay. What do you want from me? You're going too far back here.
Yeah. So either way, that's why I was cheesed when my aunt's dog chewed them to hell. Because I love those shoes so much. But hey, yeah. So yeah, he's one of the co-founders of DC Shoes. And then he got into rally racing really late. I think at the age 36. I do believe, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's age 36. So he got in the game late. And yeah, he's just been crushing it ever since. And his kids, I think he got them all into racing in some shape or form. But I think his oldest daughter, she's 15, and she's been doing racing since she was.
Well, she has her license.
Oh yeah. She's just
not 15.
16, sorry. So yeah, I know she just recently got her license, for obviously to drive legally on the road. But she's been doing like
rally racing.
like rally racing and stuff, getting ready for rally racing. She drove like the UTVs, like the side by sides. So she's been racing in that stuff. But it was devastating news when like social media just blew up, and I saw a post by somebody else, and at first I didn't read it thoroughly, so I didn't find out till later in the evening. But it just sucks because he died of a snowmobiling accident of all things. And yeah, it's I watched his stuff, like every video that came out, like every side video, every sponsorship, I was watching it. And I don't know, it's sad because like he seemed like a really great guy. He was a family man. He cared about his kids. He always put his family first. He was always he started like the Gymkhana videos, the hoonigan stuff. So if anyone, even if you're not into racing, I think you should at least give it a look, because this guy really helped bring back and keep that steady, drive for rally racing. So, because rally racing, it wasn't dying, like it wasn't dead or anything, but it definitely was starting to go stagnant for a bit, and he definitely brought it back for sure. And I don't know, it's pretty cheesed.
There's just a lot less eyes on it.
Oh yeah, 100%. So, and just see, man, rally racing, it's its own sport, Like, you have to be a different breed, you know what I mean? You're whipping down a road at like 100 kilometers an hour, like a road just wide enough for your car, listening to these call-outs by your autopilot.
Nothing to stop you from
hitting
anything.
Exactly. And like
there's tons of road hazards and shit.
Yeah, like that one of the, like I think right after his death.
It's not paved, right?
No, it's not.
Every time you do the track, it's slightly different from different cars going through it.
Exactly. And like right after his death, they released a
which was not due to rally racing.
No, exactly. So they released a video. I think it was a documentary. He's talking about his, I guess, the journey of where he got to where he is today. And yeah, like he said, he had like some injury, like I think it was a back injury or something, but he took Advil to deal with the pain, and like because of that, I guess Advil it dilates, like it affects your time perception, and it also affects your level of hearing. So not like, oh, I hear this, but processing what you're hearing, it affects that.
Your reaction time.
Exactly. So, just that in that clip there in the video, his co-pilot called out a call, and he just didn't react to it in time, and he went around the corner and literally probably 5 or 10 miles per hour faster than he should have, and just a sudden stop when they hit that tree. And they measured it at I think it was a 12G impact,
which is wild,
which is nuts. Yeah, at just a sudden stop. So it's nuts, man. Like that level of precision that you have to have in rally driving is freaking nuts. So I don't know. I was, but you know what? The family, obviously, they're still grieving, but they seem like they're celebrating his death. Um, Not celebrating his death. That was horrible.
Yeah, I don't think you worded that right.
Celebrating his life that he lived. Celebrating his death. Hey man, hey, if I died, you celebrate my death. I don't know. I'm not gonna be cheesed about it. Just play this clip back. It's like, but yeah, so they seem to be in, considering the devastation, they seem to be in a good place right now. Especially his daughter. She's still going strong with it. Obviously, she probably just wants to live up to his legacy because, I mean, everybody seemed to love him, and he was involved with people in general. So, yeah, man. Well, that's why. And I'm pretty sure his death was January 2nd, so right in the beginning of the year. Um, and after that, like man, everybody's just dropping like flies. All these celebrities um, just even like yesterday, or the day before, Lance Reddick. You know him from the voice actor for Destiny, but you know he played a role in the John Wick movies.
Well, I know him from that too. But...
Yeah, 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 and what the other movie, The Wire as well. But yeah, found out that he died um, recently. So, and I guess he died of natural causes, is what they're saying, at the age of 60. But yeah, everyone's just dropping like flies. So even people in my life, like in my personal life, they're not relatively close to me, but I do know them long enough, and I know them well enough that it kind of like, oh dang, like, you know, like Robin, like his wife passed away of cancer, and then not even a month later, like his mom passes away.
Yeah, he's having a rough go at it right now.
So, man, that it always sucks, man, because it always happens to the most humble people. It's rough. But if there's very few people in my life that I could say that altered me as a person for the better. Very few people, but he's definitely on the higher part of the list. That's for sure.
Certainly.
So it's always rough to see somebody so outgoing and full of life and just wanting to help people, and then somebody they love just gets kind of ripped away from them just so quickly. And he had a pretty rough past. So he finally found somebody that he was just completely crazy about. They loved each other to death. In the short time that I've known his wife, um, I was privileged and honored just to know her as a person. So I think that's what also kind of really bummed me out because of that. Just because how happy well, the state of where he was and how happy he was. So yeah, so this freaking camera. So I was able to. I'm gonna have to do this again, but I was able to, in quotations, hack the camera by holding a series of buttons all at the same time.
That's just a feature.
I know, but like, turns out you can actually do a button combination in the camera, and you can, instead of having the record limit time at what is it, just 29 minutes. Well, what this allows it to do is it limits it to your SD card size. So it does, like, if your SD card is like, like 200 gigabytes or whatever, it limits it to that rather than having a time limit of 30 minutes.
And why does it have a time limit?
It's some cameras just do as default. Yeah.
No, but you just said you
No,
found a way to
oh,
bypass
sorry.
that.
Yeah. So, it's because I'm recording in a more manual mode of the camera. I think it only works on intelligent mode
Gotcha.
of the camera. So right now, I dialed everything in myself: the ISO, the aperture, the shutter speed, the focus. I kind of like to be more in control of that. some Canon's really well for this. Their autofocus is like absolutely amazing. Every other camera brand has been trying to nail that, which is good. At least they set a bar for other cameras. Panasonic, they're slowly getting there because Panasonic relied on contrast-based autofocus, so it was a bit slower. And even if it did snap to focus, it was always doing this hunting action back and forth, back and forth. But yeah, Canon's has probably the best autofocus on the market in specific cameras. Probably most cameras by now, or all their cameras. Who knows? But Fujifilm, they got really well with their autofocus. So, and then Joseph just recently discovered that Lumix is Panasonic.
Yeah, that. I thought Lumix was just some obscure thing. I didn't know.
Yeah, and it all made sense to me, man.
Because every time he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm thinking of getting a new Lumix," I'm like, "What? You were gonna buy Fujifilm, now you want to get another Lumix? It's like, gross." And he's like, "Lumix is Panasonic," and I'm like, "Oh, for fuck's sakes!" Of course.
Yeah, the funny thing is, it's like I'm pretty sure Nick was in the same boat as you, where like he just didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably looking at Lumix like, oh, look at this no-name, off-brand looking thing.
Yeah, look at this
Yeah.
grape drink. You know what I mean?
Look at this grape drink. Yeah, so I was like, well, because I would say stuff like, well, I kind of want to stay in the same brand. I'm familiar with it. They're a great camera. And you're like, why? What do you mean? Like, get Fujifilm. Don't get me wrong. I was thinking about it. You good? Okay. He's dying.
Sorry, I was laughing
Okay.
while drinking.
But yeah, so I mean, Fujifilm, I was definitely thinking about it. I was thinking about getting the Fujifilm X-T4, but then recently the Fujifilm X-T5 dropped. I was like, yes, I might get that one, but then the articulating screen, they just deleted that, got rid of it, which is kind of bums me out because, for somebody who needs that type of thing.
I mean, you don't need the T4.
Well, yeah, I don't need the T4, but, I don't need the T5. The T4 would suit me just great because it has the articulated screen.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. So, I don't know if I maybe that was my fault for not explaining
Yeah,
that.
you don't need the T5. The T4 is fine.
The T4 would have been fine. So, pretty sure the T5 could do... I could be wrong. I think the T4 can do 6K.
I think part of my problem when you got the camera is you said it was a great starter camera. So in my mind, I couldn't get that thought out of my head that you yourself called it a starter brand.
Yeah. I think I said that.
Or maybe
to
you
Nick
just
a
said
lot,
it was a
too.
starter camera, but
Yeah.
you didn't say it was a starter brand. But maybe I just associated that.
Well, I could see a lot of people associating that with that as well.
Mm-hmm. So I just, for so long, I'm just thinking, like, why would you get another Lumix? It's so strange.
Yeah.
Everything made sense to me that day.
Yeah, no, exactly. So yeah, it's. I still go buy it. It's still a great starter camera. If anybody wants to learn, like, getting into photography with a mirrorless camera and shooting video at the same time. Now, I would say this camera, is more compact, but it leans more toward video. And Panasonic definitely always leans toward video. I know their GH6, I'm pretty sure their GH6 and all those series, the GH series more lean toward the photos, but their video capabilities was still really great. So, but yeah, Panasonic, it's a very good brand. A lot of videographers use Panasonic all the time. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that show on YouTube, Good Mythical Morning, they started with, they could still be using Panasonic. I tried figuring out what they use now, but this post on Reddit was 5 years old.
Did you just say that show on YouTube?
I'm
pretty sure everyone knows
Yeah.
Good Mythical Morning.
You'd be surprised. A lot of people, I'm like, do you know the show Good Mythical Morning? They're like, No, I don't think I've never heard of it, and I'm always surprised. But I think I, but they do know if I were to say like Rhett and
Rhett and
Link,
Link, and
yeah.
they're like, oh, that.
Because I think because Rhett and Link, their faces were everywhere even before YouTube. They were kind of getting into that type.
Well, they
of...
did. They've even done crossovers with Smosh. Right?
Yeah,
'Cause they were in the
exactly.
same building
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something like
exactly. And they did a whole bunch of. They did rap battles of history back when that was a thing.
that. They were part of that.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So, I'm pretty sure that's where a lot of people remember them. A lot of older people. So they're like, oh yeah, those guys. Yeah, and then I show them a photo of them now, and then Red has this long beard and like this long hair, and they're like, wow, they're getting old, man.
Oh, that's what happens. That's what happens with time.
Yep. Let's make sure that's still recording. Good. But yeah, it's I just I don't even know why. I don't even know why I like their stuff so much, because I think it's just because it's just so dumb. You know what I mean? They're always eating stupid stuff like.
Their
They made-
stomachs must be lined with so much.
Dude,
like,
their stomachs must be made of just pure steel, Like they released a video on their Rhett and Link channel, so they use that as kind of like a vlog channel. It's just them digging a hole in the middle of nowhere. They just dug a hole, and at first I'm like,
no one questioned it.
dude, they literally said, it's like, yeah.
Why were they digging holes? Why were they digging holes?
They just want to dig a hole, and then they dug a too big of a hole, and they wanted now to dig a medium-sized hole. So now they're going through this process of what is a medium-sized hole. So they went back to the editing bay, and they got their graphics designer to help them figure out what a medium-sized hole is. So they went back to the middle of nowhere and dug a medium-sized hole. And at first I'm like, oh, maybe it's just a little vlog. Well, no, because there's a third person there, recording them. And then I just seen on their Instagram, there's an entire crew, man. There's a sound guy, two video guys, and Stevie as the obviously the writer. So she's sitting there with
She wrote, today they dig holes.
yeah, yeah. I'm just like, dang,
Enthralling.
that's like these guys go hard for some of the most mundane reasons.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Honestly. If there were two celebrities I would want to meet, though, I guess it would be them, because they're just two normal dudes, you know what I mean? Yeah, they're multi-millionaires, because now their brand, their studio, their franchise, it's called Mythical. Now it's an actual production. So that's pretty cool. So I mean, yeah. Then they made it. They didn't make it past the pilot, but they did make it onto the Food Network channel, which was pretty impressive. Yeah. I don't know. I just like watching them just do stupid stuff. I don't have to think about anything. Just watch Link eat congealed pork blood or something. Yeah. But I don't know. What do you? And you're playing what? Now you're playing Diablo 2, 3?
2.
The face you made when I said 3.
Diablo 2.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Yeah. So, Simon, I think I don't know if he told you, but he was telling me about, his trip to Portugal as
Portugal?
Yeah. Portugal. Portugal. It's because there's an L in there,
Portugal.
and I can't, it's hard for me to put an L before or after something all the time. But yeah, so anyone that doesn't know, which is probably a lot of you guys, he's a marine engineer, so his job is make sure that the ships that he's on stays running efficiently, and he's also helps with making sure that they're not putting anything harmful or putting waste into the waters that they're sailing in. But yeah, went over to Portugal for work, and then he was telling me his journey back. He said he sailed through the Bermuda Triangle, so that was interesting. Uh, I guess they were supposed to go through the storm is what they wanted, because going directly through the storm, I guess it's less like hectic. But they went south, directly south from Portugal, and then up and around through Bermuda. And he said they hit a wave that was so hard it knocked like it shut off their engines, so the boat went adrift. And usually, like you know this, like a boat should hit a wave like onward. It's the safest. But what happened was the boat went adrift and they were hitting the waves sideways. And they said it went to like 37 degrees.
Well, if you go against it, you're kind of like just crashing through that. All that energy that's
like
just displacing it.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
it hits you on the side,
Yeah, you
it's
topple
got
over.
all this
Yeah,
surface area to push on.
exactly. Yeah.
And you're trying to go this way so it can.
Yeah, exactly. And he said that the boat, I'm pretty sure he said 37 degrees. He said, which is a point of no return, meaning that it just goes over. The boat will just go over.
Did it?
No. So
Oh.
he said the fact that it didn't is like just nuts. And he said like people were like scared and like they're gonna die. And he said he was laughing the entire time, which
Well,
I'm
shit.
like, yeah, that's probably.
Of course he would.
Yeah, I'm like, it's just probably Simon, as a person, but it's also like, in uncomfortable situations.
Oh, yeah.
People just laugh.
You get
right?
nervous and you start.
Yeah, and then he was explaining how they're trying to get the engines up and running. Then there's this diesel leak that they had to fix, and because the boat's rocking back and forth, he he lost his footing and he went to catch himself, and he put his hand directly on an exhaust manifold, and it gave him like third-degree burns.
Simon?
Yeah. I don't know if you saw, but like he had this gnarly looking like scar on his hand. It was gross, dude. Yeah, and then he was saying he got maybe like 20 minutes of sleep during the whole process because like he gave up, so he just put his mattress on the floor, and his mattress was just sliding across the room, the entire room. So he said he would time it, so he would hit the wall, and like I could sleep now, and he just like get a little bit of sleep, then hit the other wall, and the whole process would repeat itself. It's nuts, man. Like it makes.
So they went off course and really got.
It makes every time he
Screwed
comes
over
back
for
and
it.
he tells me these things, I just don't ever want to complain about my job.
This happened at my job. He's like, yeah, I almost died.
Yeah. Me, like, what am I gonna complain? Like, oh, somebody was mean to me at work. A customer yelled at me.
Hey.
Hey, I get it. Sometimes that is a bit much for people. I
No,
get
but
it.
just because someone has bigger problems than you doesn't mean your problems aren't problems.
Yeah, no, exactly.
What the fuck do you want?
I was just saying hi.
I asked you to come down here and do the vlog, and instead of doing the vlog, you're gonna intrude upon it?
Yeah.
I fucking hate this kid.
Oh my god.
Well, that's for my mic. Is that my mic?
No way.
No, this is both my mics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you lost your mic in your
Yeah.
mess of a room. I'm still
Okay.
cheesed about yesterday, okay?
Okay, yeah, so for context, yeah, you should probably explain the
No, fuck it. He doesn't deserve
Okay,
he doesn't deserve reasoning to bail him out of this. That's how I feel. Fuck that.
Joseph and I way back found
5 minutes, man. 5 minutes. Jesus Christ.
we found this really fun mode. And I think I explained this on a
It's
vlog.
not a mode.
Well, it's not a mode. It's just how would I explain? It's a
Okay. Anyone who's played Call of Duty knows what Call of Duty is. We do it a little different. We get the smallest map. We get the most amount of bots the game will allow. We put them on the highest difficulty possible. We give them all shotguns. And we click start on free-for-all. And you can't win. It's not possible. Because there aren't enough spawns for... Like, you will spawn inside of someone, or someone will spawn inside of you. And the second
and they
it
all have
starts-
grenades.
Yeah, they all have grenades. So it's just chaos. And it's the fun of it is just dying over and over and over again. While just trying, I don't know, there's no winning. There's no winning, you can't win. Bots will react faster than you, right?
It says you could win. Like you
theoretically you could
Yeah.
win. We're always at the bottom of the score. For context, I'm okay. I'm good at video games.
yeah.
I win more often than I lose online. But these bots with these shotguns, there's no winning because it's a tiny little map.
Yep.
They'll spawn in firing their weapons. So you'll spawn and then just bam in the
Yeah.
back of the head. You just explode outwards.
Man, we had our stomachs every time
Anyway.
we played this game. Just
But the matches can't be longer than 5 minutes because you won't be able to breathe.
Yep.
Or at least we won't.
Yeah.
It's just it feels like an eternity because the last time we played it, we had a goal: just get from one side of the map to the other side of the map alive. That was our only goal, and it was harder than you'd think.
Yeah.
It was
way
rough.
harder.
It was harder than you'd think, and that journey, if anyone has played Call of Duty, they know Shipment, the tiniest little map. It's the size of those little crates.
Yeah.
So what do you call it? Shipment crates? They're shipment
Yeah.
crates.
Yeah.
And the map is like 3 of those long,
Yeah.
and just that distance
dude.
is the longest walk you'll
And
ever
I
take.
thought it'd be a great idea. I'm like, so the thing is, we'd have to when we spawn in, we have to find a wall to
You
start.
find
at.
a wall.
Find a wall, but even that alone,
That's the difficult.
that's the difficult part.
That's the
You
difficult part.
spawn, you die like 3 or 4 times before you find a wall.
Yeah.
So then you'd find a wall, and the second you found a wall, you had to run immediately to the other side. So I thought it was a great idea to yuck grenades in my line of where I'm running at, so it just blow up the bots as I'm running through them.
So he doesn't have to stop and shoot them. He
So
can just,
unfortunately, when I yucked them, a bot just sprayed me and just shot me right in the head. But then when I spawned in, my grenade that hasn't went off yet, Joseph's like, "I'm gonna make it! I'm gonna make it!"
this close to the
So
wall.
close to the other side.
And Nathan's grenade blows me up. Your plan didn't work, Nathan. I said. I was so
And the
cheesed.
thing is, I didn't catch on. I thought
I
like,
was so cheesed.
I'm like, you tried my plan. As in, you tried yucking.
No, I didn't
grenades.
chuck grenades.
Yeah, and then I finally realized that my grenade was the one that blew you up. Yeah. The amount of so the thing is, there's so many people in such a small area where when you spawn, you practically spawn inside of somebody.
Don't do it alone. It's not fun alone.
Yeah, it's not fun
I assume.
alone.
I don't know. I haven't done it alone.
You could try.
But if you got a friend
yeah.
and you got a Call of Duty game, put it on split screen. We do Modern Warfare Remastered because it allows the most bots.
Yeah, exactly.
So we do that one. But it's a lot of fun. If you play video games, that's a fun way to do it. Just once or twice.
Honestly, it's you can't not laugh. You know what I mean? Like you're just laughing the entire time because the second you die, like
it's specifically Call of Duty's so dumb. Like it's just if it was any game that takes itself seriously,
yeah,
it wouldn't work.
exactly.
God, the game is dumb. And it just works in its favor in this case. Like bodies will do the scorpion.
The scorpion.
The scorpion when
Yeah.
they die and stuff. It's
So essentially, yeah. So anyone doesn't know the term the scorpion, it's basically where you've probably seen it on other movies or videos.
when your
where-
legs go overhead, like
yeah,
a
over your
scorpion's
head,
tail.
and you face plant like you just eat the ground.
But they'll do the scorpion backwards.
Backwards. Yeah. So there's this one time we were playing, and we were all getting ready. We were spawning in, and literally Joseph was like, "Oh, I'm inside us because you get spawned in."
This one.
You spawn inside of
I'm
somebody.
inside of someone.
Yeah, you're like-
I'm gonna pull out and shoot it.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm gonna pull out.
And then I shot, and you're like, you were inside of me.
Because he shot me.
And we didn't realize how dirty it sounded.
You're like, oh,
I'm
yes.
inside of someone.
I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna pull out and shoot it. You were inside of me.
Oh, jeez, man. And then ever since then, like, just so many scenarios like that would just keep playing out. Yeah.
Before we discovered the perfect formula, we would always mess around with, like, how do we make this dumb and stupid?
Right.
We'd give all the bots just claymores or or just pistols. We're trying to mess around, like, how do we make this as dumb as fun? We did the boxing one.
Right, yeah.
We just gave them all boxing gloves. That was dumb.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it took a minute to figure out the formula to make it as stupid as possible, and we did it.
Yep. It was, we highly recommend this. And you know what? Just, if you have somebody, if you're going to play split screen, don't
They
tell
can't
them.
be someone who takes winning seriously.
Yeah, don't-
Actually,
yeah.
even better.
Yeah.
If they're someone who is really
Yeah.
competitive,
Yeah, they're talking it up. Yeah.
tell them it's a free for all.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
you versus everyone else.
Exactly. Don't tell him any details.
Everyone gets the same shit. Everyone gets the shotgun.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, okay, that sounds fair. And the second they spawn in, just instantly
Yeah. Dead.
they're like, I can't even walk 10 feet. No, you can't. That's the fun of it.
That's the fun of it. So yeah. So what we're leading up to was that's what was going on with James. We kept asking him to play this.
Just 5, because the matches are 5
Yeah,
minutes
they're
long.
5 minutes long, but it feels like 30 minutes.
And
man.
he plays video games more than I do by like a multiplicative number. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like him playing 5 minutes of video games should be.
Yeah.
You'd
Nothing.
You'd think he'd be like, yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
He wasn't. But at the same time, he wouldn't do it. But he was also like, yeah, give me mouse and keyboard. I'll dunk on you guys. I'll show you. I can win. I'm like, no, you can't win this. And he's like, yeah,
can't
give me
win,
mouse and
dude.
keyboard. I'll prove I can win. It's just like, you won't.
Yeah. He really thought
He was talking
gonna-
shit, but he
yeah.
wouldn't actually like.
he would
play the game.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, so it was only 5 minutes, man. Like I
I
don't
blame you though. You're the one who suggested asking him.
Yeah. Sorry. I thought it was a great idea. Hey, at least now I know, like his ego's just like through the roof.
Bro, when he was like, I lift, bro. And he's just like, I'm so much stronger than you. And I'm like, Nathan did lumber for years. You're not stronger than Nathan. And he's like, yeah, bro, I lift. I can do like 300 pounds. How much can you do? And I'm like, dude, how much you can lift in one lift is like, that's...
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't it's different.
Exactly.
And he's I don't know, he's talking so much shit.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you lift, bro? I'm just like, James, Jesus Christ.
I don't even know. None of us know what we lift. We don't sit there and measure what
Yeah,
we
I
lift.
don't-
Yeah.
I don't know. All I know is that I'm stronger than him, and you're way stronger than me. That's all I know.
Need my tendon strength.
He's looking at you and your arms, and he's just like, yeah, you're a little bitch. He was talking so much shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, prove it. Do an exercise together.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I don't got the time. Or like, no, I'm sore from this. And it was like 3 days straight. I'm like, hey, let's, you guys should do some push-ups. Or you guys should do some chin-ups. You should do something. And he's always like, oh, I'm sore from last workout. Or like, I'm good today. Or he always give an excuse. He's like, bro, don't talk shit. and then just walk away.
Oh man.
He's such a bitch. God damn it. Why is my brother such a bitch?
Oh jeez. Oh man. Yeah. Oh, it's dude.
Bro,
you're
if
right.
he saw what you did every
Yeah,
day, like
yeah.
the shit you would, those rounds
Yeah.
were huge.
Yeah.
If he saw what you were doing, he wouldn't be like, I'm stronger than this guy.
And
No.
yeah, and I'm definitely not as strong as I used to be because I would do that every day. But I know I'm for my size, my mass, I'm definitely stronger.
Yeah, you're stronger than you have any right being.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure.
Yeah. So yeah, dude, remember he talked shit about Dirt Rally?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's just like I'm the best at racing games or something. He's like, I play Need for Speed every day. It's just like, bro, it's not the same.
Need for Speed
And I'm
every
just
day.
like, yeah, get on the wheel, put on the VR. No, I beat you guys with a controller though. And I'm like, of course you
Yeah,
would.
exactly.
It's a controller. Why does he talk so much shit? And he didn't play dirt.
No.
He didn't prove
No,
it.
he didn't.
I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll let you use a controller. No, I'm good. And leave. It's like, what?
Yeah, what? Like, dude, I got so good at that game.
Because you would do, like those pillars, man.
Dude.
So close.
So close because it was like a free drive where you're just
Mhm.
driving around like practicing.
It was just an empty lot.
We got an empty lot with a warehouse and all these like buildings, dude.
We made it muddy as fuck.
But very
rainy, muddy.
I got so good at that.
Anyone who hasn't played dirt, they simulate like traction and
Yeah.
And with the VR and the
Yeah,
steering
the
wheel
racing
shit,
wheel,
like
force feedback.
Yeah, force feedback.
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
Exactly.
So like you feel the resistance of the road and the steering. It's pretty cool. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not real. You're not really driving, but they simulate it pretty closely.
Pretty
at least
closely.
close enough.
Especially the fact that we discovered we can dial in how many turns it takes.
Yeah,
per
that
motion.
was like
a
a eureka moment.
That was because remember we were actually trying to play like a stage
Because it was at 360 degree
It was
Which is
at like
great.
a normal driving mode, like on my car.
Yeah, in your car.
So
But in rally, it was something like
rally's
100
different.
degree or something
Yeah,
like that.
it's
Like,
very different.
It was
Like
way different.
exactly, like one turn like this in rally, your wheels are all the way turned. So once we discovered that, we got it dialed in. Like, because I think you and Simon, once you dialed it in, you and Simon went out to get food, and I'm like, I'll just stay behind and get good at this, dude. I got so good at that race, man. I think my best time was like 4 minutes and like 28 seconds or something like that for the entire thing. I got so good at it, and yeah, no. Anyway, James was just like saying, like, "Oh, I could do that." Yeah.
He's talking so much shit.
Yeah.
And just, look, if you want to talk shit, cool, do it. I
Do
don't
it,
care.
yeah.
That's a lot of people have that personality, and some people, they have that personality, and they're actually like, they do that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, I'm stronger than you. It's like, okay, prove it, and they do, and it's like, oh, cool, great,
yeah,
cool.
exactly.
But like, he's just like, I'll kick your ass, and then he doesn't,
He
and it's just
doesn't.
like, come on, man.
Really? Sorry, just one
He doesn't
second.
throw in violence. Sorry, that was
No, he doesn't.
no.
I'm just gonna swap batteries on the camera quickly. Yeah, it's already dying.
Well, these are still running, right?
Yeah.
Okay, everything's still going.
Yeah, so the audio is still running. I'm just gonna leave the audio running while I go run and grab a battery. Wait, I'll be right back.
Oh, so I gotta like entertain these people alone now?
Yep.
They're just gonna sit in silence with me.
Oh no.
Yep. You have to cut it out.
We're just recording a podcast, by the way, so just. Okay, shut that off.
I was so tempted to whip out the totally real accent, Joseph.
Oh, that would have been funny.
Maybe.
I don't know how many people get it though.
Yeah, because this is the podcast, not the blog.
Yeah. Okay, get that rolling again.
That's really quick.
It was.
That's what she said. Sorry.
Honestly, I probably would have said it if you didn't.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Yes. Okay. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. James just talking shit for. Not even like you said, you could talk shit, but if you're not gonna,
just fucking go for it.
yeah,
Like, just prove that you can drive. You know. Prove that you can lift more. I don't know. Not that it matters. Like it
Right.
doesn't. It doesn't matter how much you can lift unless your job is lifting shit, you know, or your hobby or whatever. And in his case, he just. I don't know, man. Like I've seen you lift things you have no business lifting, and I know you're stronger than him. I just know it. I know he can't lift that shit.
To this day, like my managers make fun of me. My boss would be like, "Oh, you got that tendon strength," because like we have these.
But it's more than that.
Yeah, it's gotta be, yeah, for sure. Because I mean, it just looks weird. You know what I mean? To see someone as scrawny and lengthy as me, like lifting like fucking I don't know, like 150, 200 pounds, for no reason. So yeah, I mean, I definitely do want to start working out, but not to work out to like look great or like look buff or anything. I kind of do like want to look lean, but not like that like bodybuilder look. You know what I mean? But I've also stopped eating like fast food completely. I always packed like for the past 2 weeks now, 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. My sense of time is crap. Yeah. Everyone else at lunch would just go to McDonald's or something, but I just packed a lunch. So I stopped eating fast food. And yeah, I would say a dramatic difference. I don't feel sluggish, like tired anymore.
What's funny is I literally went through this already and told you all about it. And you're like, yeah, cool. And now you're like, whoa, he's right. I do sleep better.
Yeah, except for lately though. Ever since daylight savings, dude.
That fucked you over.
Dude, that screwed me up hard, dude. Like,
I love how you're like, yeah, that daylight savings screwed me over, and I'm like, daylight savings?
yeah, you're like, that happened? Yeah, like, I don't know, man. I knew something was off. I think it was a Monday, but like, usually, like,
Ugh, Mondays. You know, I've never had problems with Mondays. Everyone always says, ugh, Mondays.
yeah, I don't know. Like, my managers usually pick me up around 8 o'clock because we all carpool together because we live in the same rinky-dink town. So usually it's 8 o'clock and the sun's all the way up because we're in marketing season. So technically our work day starts at like 9:45 to 6 p.m. So my managers pick me up for 8 o'clock and the sun is usually all the way up by that time, even in winter time. So in the winter time. So I was like, okay, whatever. So then Monday came around and I'm like, something's off. Like it's like there's light, but just barely light. You know what I mean? And the lamps were still kind of on. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. I'm like, why do I feel weird? We went into work and everybody looked off. Like it looked like they were slightly like tired.
I love that nobody knew.
Yeah, like nobody really put their finger on it at first, and like everybody was just kind of like walking around like zombies. Nobody really talked a lot because usually the morning's pretty uppy, especially that time, starting later in the morning. But yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, daylight savings. And that was, I didn't even find out that day. I found out the day after. I think it was the morning after because I woke up, and when you get used to your alarm clock, you wake up before your alarm. That's the whole point of an alarm. So then, usually I would wake
You
up.
just pissed a lot of people off.
I don't give a shit. I mean, like, that's what it is. That's what it is, man. The point of your alarm is to psychologically get you in that.
Condition yourself to wake up at a specific time.
Exactly.
Yeah. They probably know it. They're mad that you pointed it out. Like, you just pissed a lot of people off.
So anyway, I would wake up before my alarm would go off, at least 2 or 3 minutes. Hell, you know what? Sometimes 30 minutes, depending on like if I got a lot of sleep. So I woke up. I'm like, oh, okay, and I felt really well rested. So like my alarm's about to go off. No, tell me why it's at 2:45 a.m. I'm like, what? 2:45? I'm like, what am I gonna do for the next like 3, 4, 5 hours? Like I'm not gonna like. So I went back to sleep, and then after that, I was done for. Woke up again, and I felt like garbage.
That's what you did wrong. You screwed yourself over by going back to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. So then 2 a.m. I'm like, what is going on? Freaking daylight saving. Did you know? Maybe you read an article about this or saw a video, but I think it's in. I can't remember. I think Haiti, maybe somewhere. I can't remember the exact country, but they don't follow our time zones. They don't have leap years or a leap month. They don't do daylight
calendar year.
Yeah, they don't do daylight savings.
Okay.
So at the time when this video was released, it's like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. They're saying like, oh, they're still in 2010. It's still 2010 or 2014 to them, I think. Yeah. So I know they're years behind us, like years.
Their calendar.
Yeah, their calendar is not. Can you imagine you go there and like there's their technology is like 5 or 10 years like behind, but yeah, so they don't follow any of that stuff. And I was like, oh, that's actually pretty interesting. And somebody was explaining to me that in I think like Greek mythology and stuff, they had a 13th month, and then somebody decided like, oh, let's just have 12 months. I don't
mean ancient Greece. Greek mythology is mythology.
Oh,
from
yeah.
ancient Greece.
Yeah, sorry.
Greece is not mythology.
Yeah.
Greece really existed. The Minotaur, on the other hand,
yeah,
that did not.
Sorry, yeah. But yeah, so they're saying like how, because like the months they're named after people. So I guess somebody thought it was a great idea to do like 12 months. This whole thing, and I don't know how it actually went, but like. Turns out things were more easily laid out, but now we're kind of doing this whole like, oh, like this monthly has this day, and this monthly has this day. And then back to that country that doesn't follow what we follow. Their month, every single month, has 30 days. So, like, if we look at February, we only have 28 days. But some months have 30 days, some months have 31 days. Theirs, every single month, is 30 days. That's it. So, yeah, no, it was just interesting. And I think I wouldn't be cheesed about that if we did the same thing.
The problem is, we go based on
Yeah.
the celestial cycles, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing else.
Yep. So.
Which is why leap year, because it's not perfect.
Right. Yeah, because because there isn't exactly 24 hours in a day.
Yeah. So we don't do a perfect system, so we have to do leap years.
Yep. Yeah, cause
And some other stuff to make it work.
Yeah, because I think there's actually like 23 hours and like 50 some odd minutes, like I don't know, like 58 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
don't know the number. I just know it's wrong.
I know it's like slightly off, so we do that to compensate for that.
Mm-hmm. Which is one way of doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's working out.
Yeah, so if you guys are watching the video version of this episode, where Joseph and I are both wearing the exact same sweaters. His is in more of like a brown color, mine's a gray. And, sorry, my nose is getting stuffy for no reason right now, so I sound a bit nasally. So these sweaters, they're lengthy. Oh, you're gonna give me an analogy, man?
Yeah.
Sweet.
I thought I had some on my desk, but I didn't.
Yeah, so these sweaters, they're cool because they're they're longer than the average sweater. They're pullovers,
They're awesome.
but they go kind of like almost to the knees, and they're very comfortable. And I think your mom picked up these sweaters, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she picked it
Yeah.
up for me and you. No.
Oh
She got one for James,
Got
but
one for
James
James.
didn't want one.
Oh, he joked about this auctioneer thing.
Yeah.
Remember? Because like he was going like, oh, I think I got like $60. I'm like, and we just left him like, I'm not paying $60 for a fucking sweater. And finally, I just saw it on the stairs. I'm like, well, it's mine.
Yeah, he wasn't using it.
He
He
wasn't
wasn't wearing
using
it.
it.
And he was just like, you know what? Fuck that.
Because
He
issue
doesn't
was
have a problem with
I think it was too thin for him, or like the arms were too thin.
Well, they're not long enough for you. That's for damn sure.
No, they're not short. But, I mean, who cares? I just like wear it around the house. Yeah, actually, no. I do actually like if I'm running kind of like if I went to Walmart late night, I just throw it on. It's very comfortable.
I want to wear this everywhere.
I think I wore this. No, I did wear this to work a couple of times. I
I
packed
got
it
a
in my
stain on
bag.
mine though.
You know the funny thing is, you
What
can
is it?
tell
What
she
is it?
probably got about like on sale as like a second hand stuff. Like you know what I mean? Because they're both missing the pull strings.
They have pull strings?
Yeah, look, they have the
Oh,
holes.
shit.
Yeah,
I mean, I never use those.
I never use those, and on most of mine, on most of my pullover sweaters, I actually tie the string in like a bow, like maybe like a little knot, because like I hated it when they would you go to do the laundry and the string like rips out of the sweater. It'd drive me up the
That's
walls.
happened to me so many times
Yeah.
that I now just use those as toys for my cats. Like go to my closet, you'll see it right now. I can't get up because going through you is gonna be difficult.
Set this.
Or it's irrelevant.
Oh, sorry for the noise, guys.
I was holding.
Yeah, hold that. Sorry for the noise.
Inside where the air conditioner is,
Oh,
you can
right
see it
there,
sticking
yeah.
right out.
Oh.
I literally just took a stick, and because they prefer this over any other toy.
Yeah. It's literally just yeah.
So that's happened so many times that I've got so many of these, and once they tear one up, I'll
Yeah.
just untie
Should
this,
probably turn this
replace
light
it. That's all. Yeah. By the way, cats like strings.
on. Yeah,
If
they
you
do.
Everyone knows that. Everyone who owns cats knows that.
Yeah, okay. Step back.
But like we bought all those toys for them, and they fucking don't use them. And then they love that. So I don't
Dude,
know.
it's like kids too, man. You buy kids like all these toys and stuff, and they don't even play with them. I mean, they do, but like they rather
Yeah, kids are just like cats.
yeah.
Just as easy to take care of. Yeah.
No, my son has way too many toys, man. I've been drilling it into his head like, dude, you have no idea how lucky you have it. I explained to him in great detail some kids have a rock to play with and you can't fathom it. I'm like, a rock.
Come on, don't do that.
It's like they have a rock to play with. And he's like, a rock? I'm like, yeah, the things, outside you pick up a rock. Imagine that being the only thing you could play with, or a stick or something. And he has like,
Come on.
he looks at his like toy bin, it's just like all these like just piles and piles of toys. I don't even think I had that many toys as a kid. Like, I remember when our mom got our Nintendo DS's, and like we thought we were the baddest shit on the block. We probably were, to be honest, like, to a certain extent. The PSPs, we got the PSPs. Those were ahead of their time, man. Like,
What does everyone use now?
Yeah.
What is the Nintendo Switch?
Exactly.
You know what's a Nintendo Switch?
Yeah.
The PSP.
PSP.
Same shit.
Yeah.
Well, except for
Way-
it doesn't like plug into the
yeah.
TV.
Way ahead of its time.
100%. Like
Came
The,
back.
the Valve Steam Deck
Yeah.
is also a big one right now. It's
Yeah.
PC on the thing.
Yep.
Just mobile gaming. Okay, the DS did it first.
Oh, yeah,
But the
yeah.
DS was always the Game Boy Extra.
Yeah, exactly.
Always.
Because
the
they
games
glorified
you could-
Game Boy.
the games you can play on a DS were very limited.
Exactly.
Like, but the PSP was at the time could play PS2 games.
Yeah.
Right? Like that was a big deal. Even though it came out during PS3 era.
Exactly.
But you're right. It was ahead of its time. And if PlayStation made the...
Well, they did. They made a PlayStation Vita, and that didn't take off. But that was also, like,
Yeah.
they were just a couple years too early. Once
Yeah.
the Nintendo Switch came out, people were like, oh, we like this stuff.
Man.
I bet Sony's so pissed. Like, our shit's done so well. Fuck that.
Man, I love
The main issue with the PSP is the way you had to play the game. It was the cartridge
the
system.
cartridge, the
was
little disc, the disc in the cartridge.
in a plastic container.
Yeah.
That always got scratched the
Yeah.
fuck.
As
But,
someone who
yeah.
worked at a pawn shop, right?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Like, I can't give you any money for this shit.
Yeah.
It's scratched all hell. Or they'd try to buy, like...
You could download
They come in to
games,
buy
though.
them, and then we're like, really? Only $2 for this
Yeah.
game? It's like, yeah, only $2 for this game. It's garbage.
Yeah. I mean, you could download games, but there wasn't space available to do that. Like, there's only like...
You had to use SD cards, and at that time,
Yeah. SD
SD
cards.
cards weren't huge.
Dude, downstairs, I found a 400 megabyte SD card. 400 megabyte. That's when digital cameras first came out.
It's, yeah. But you're right. It was
Yeah.
ahead of its time.
It was ahead of its time for sure. Man, I loved the hell out of that thing. I loved it so much. But yeah.
I think Anthony had one.
Oh, for sure. He definitely did. I'm pretty
'Cause
sure
I remember-
it was black.
I remember, like...
Yeah.
I
I had a silver one.
I remember playing Star Wars Battlefront on his PSP.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I have this game. Can I use your PSP to... I remember that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. He let me use it once. To play Star Wars Battlefront. Because
If anyone hasn't played Battlefront for the PS2, Jesus Christ, play it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
ton of fun.
Absolutely. Okay, well, I think yeah, we're gonna probably wrap up the episode.
What?
Do you want to keep talking?
I don't know. I want to keep talking to you. I don't care if the cameras are on.
Man, okay, yeah. So we're gonna wrap it up. But hopefully we can deliver more episodes. Whether it's me and Joseph, my brother and I, Simon and I. Doesn't matter. I'll figure something out. At least to release one episode once a week, whether it's audio version or a video version. And my podcasts are distributed by Anchor. Not sponsored, but if you want to get into podcasting, you could just simply use your phone and record a podcast. They have very great tools. You can add interloops. You can add sound effects. It gives you all the tools that you need to make your own podcast. And not only that, you can distribute your podcast to all podcast platforms, just like Full Course Exposed here. You can find it literally anywhere you listen to podcasts. So it's a very great tool. So if you just want to be just make a podcast with your friends, best way. And you know what? There's a cool tool. What you can do is you can, let's say if you have Anchor downloaded on your phone, you start recording. You can invite somebody else, one of your friends who's obviously at their house. Invite them. They hit record, and now you guys are both having a podcast episode from 2 different locations. So it's a very great tool, very great starter process for podcasters out there. And of course, podcasts are becoming more and more popular. Everybody's doing it, especially the more video format podcasts. And Anchor now supports that now that it's owned by Spotify. So yeah, again, not sponsored, but it's well enough to. It's a great platform just to let you guys know that anybody could do a podcast if they wanted to. But other than that, it's pretty much about it. Some of my other content. Another thing is called Car Tangents. I forgot my own name to the. It's called Car Tangents. Essentially, there's really no topic-based kind of genre for that. It's just whenever I'm driving, whenever anybody is driving, we just hit record, and whenever conversations are said in the car, it just gets recorded. I upload it to Instagram. There is Car Tangents on YouTube, but I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with Car Tangents on YouTube. I think it just might be an Instagram thing for now. But we'll see how it goes. And then, of course, if you guys want to check out my vlogs, the odd vlog that I post here and there, you can find it on my YouTube channel, just simply called Nathan Kirk. But other than that, that's pretty much about it. And if you guys have any questions or comments, you can find me on Instagram. My username is Prototype Dreamwalker. Again, people keep wanting me to change that, but I think I should just leave it the way that it is, because it's going to be a bit of a hassle telling everybody about me changing my handle on Instagram. But yeah, do you have anything you want to add? No?
Watch Arcane.
Yeah, what he said. Watch Arcane.
Watch Arcane. It's on Netflix.
Again, not sponsored, but hey.
Oh, just
What?
insert streaming site here. You know, just cut Netflix out. You know,
Yeah.
they have to know what platforms.
Well, yeah, of
Because
course.
it's only on that platform. Actually, R.
R?
I can't condone piracy,
Oh.
but
Oh.
R, me maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. R.
R.
Oh,
Sorry.
man. I hope a lot more people get that than, you know what I mean? But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much about it. And I hope you guys have an amazing day, week. Who knows when the next episode will drop. But yeah, again, if you guys have any comments or questions, find me on Instagram. And I read through that type of stuff because I do post snippets of the episode on Instagram. So I guess that's it. And we'll see you guys later. Goodbye. You don't want to say goodbye?
Nah, fuck them.
Oh my god.
Leave that in.
Definitely leaving that in.